Good evening, the erudite speaker for the day, Mr. Rahul Magan from New Delhi, and the august audience, my esteemed professional colleagues. Today is a special day in the sense we are looking at the bank audits which are in progress. In the process, it is also important for us to know about the banking frauds. So here, the new dimensions in banking frauds is the topic that is being dealt with today, and SIRC of ICAI has always been at the forefront to serve the members of the institute, especially the Southern India Regional Council. So in the absence of our chairman, Mr. Chinnamastan Talakaila, and the secretary, Mr. Narendra Chandra Gelli, I am given the task of giving opening remarks and welcome you all for the day's program. In the capacity of Vice Chairman, I, Pannaraj, is here to do the honors to the speaker. And I welcome you all to this very special program for the day, New Dimensions in Banking Frauds. Before I hand over the proceedings to the speaker, Mr. Rahul Magan, I would like to introduce him formally. His corporate profile as a Group Chief Executive Officer, CEO, ex-Group Corporate Treasurer, currently is acting as a Group Chief CEO and Venture Capitalist, Treasury Consultancy Group, TCG, a Singaporean multinational group having interest 8 B verticals, 44 business domains. Treasury Consultancy Group owned intellectual property, world's first fixed income platform. Treasury Consultancy Group to add international subsidiaries like Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Australia, Luxembourg, Mauritius, and New York. Treasury Consultancy Group serving 75 plus global clients, 100 plus domestic clients, covering markets like the United States, Canadian financial markets, European Union, Australia and New Zealand, Asia Pacific financial markets, Japanese, OPEC, African and Indian markets. Treasury Consulting awarded amongst top 50 internationally growing companies in India by IE 2020 London Partners during the year April 2018. As ex-group corporate treasurer of United States, India-based information technology enabled services ITES and IT companies like Excel, Service Holding, etc. HCL Technologies Limited, and at the group level, and front office, middle office, CF office, and risk office at the group level, covering 35 plus group entities at Excel, 75 plus group entities in HCL Technologies Limited, respectively. Holding more than a decade experience as a group corporate treasurer, awarded amongst top 20 corporate treasurers in 2014 by CFO India Institute, won several CFO awards during corporate career in Excel and HCL. Treasury Consulting Group, intellectual property, trainer profile, and money manager, and is also a author, speaker, and he wrote his maiden book on options for risk-free portfolios, published by McLaren Palgrave in June 13 in New York. His second book, Techniques to Hedge Interest Rate Exposures, to publish in December 19 in Singapore, United States. He also acts as a speaker covering conferences, seminars, workshops for various forums across the globe. He has won more than 100 plus mementos, awards covering respective events. With this brief introduction, I present before you the illustrious speaker for the day, Mr. Rahul Magan. Over to you, sir. Once again, a warm welcome to you.
Okay, sir, thank you very much. And I would like to thank you, all the participants, those who are here, and thank you to the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India for the invitation. And before I start, I would like to let you know, everybody, upfront that I'm a very, very, different kind of speaker in the sense like I'm not the kind of person who believes in presentations and I would say who believes in notes, study materials, and all. I used to teach Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, but after my busy schedule, I left it. Now, why I chose this topic is because I worked as a corporate treasurer from 2007 till officially till 2016. And I interacted with almost every bank, you name, whether this is Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Citi, Standard Chartered, UBS, Barclays, Deutsche. And I'm not deliberately mentioning the Indian banks, which include State Bank of India, Punjab National Bank, and all, and others. And after 2016, I started my own hedge fund. I don't know how many of you understand hedge fund. And now I have my own hedge fund, so we interact with banks in India and outside India. The basic problem we have in the system is that you people believe that like we have so many degrees, and if you visit the Facebook profile or the YouTube channel, I keep speaking about these things almost every day, which definitely irritates few people. The basic issue we have is we are chasing something which do not exist, and that is a hard reality. We are chasing something that do not exist. Just like I would like to start with a quote that Lord Shiva, one day Mata Parvati asked from Lord Shiva that why, the people not been able to reach to you, and why very less amount of people always reach to you. Lord Shiva replied to Mata Parvati, said that, if you wanted to reach to me, you have to give away all the materialistic things. But unfortunately, people do not want to give away the materialistic things, but they still wanted to reach me, which practically not possible. Henceforth, you may say that you are a devotee of Lord Shiva, but you will never be a devotee of Lord Shiva because you are still attached to the materialistic thing. And I don't think hardly less than 1% of the people understood this technically. Similar is the scenario we have now. We are chasing many degrees now, whether it is CFA, whether this is FRM, whether this is CA, whether this is ICSI, whether this is any other MBA or variety of degrees. But did we understood exactly what is happening in the world of banking? No. We even do not know how to study the annual report of the bank. So let me give you a very simplistic example of 2 days ago. Very, very simplistic example of 2 days ago. And unfortunately, except very less people, no one understood it. Hello, people are getting my voice?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
So HDFC Bank announced that, they are merging with, HDFC, basically the mortgage lender. Okay, this news flashed in the market, and what had happened? Common sense that the stock price went up. And I was like,
So sorry to interrupt, sir. 1 minute.
yes.
So since the video is not turned on, many were asking for the same. So even if you're not turning on the video, you can put something on the screen like a Google Sheet or something.
I'm doing this, sir. I'm doing this. Please give me 5 minutes.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. How to turn on? Share my webcam.
Share my webcam, and or else you can put your presentation. That is right below the webcam button. There is option to share your screen.
Show screen. Okay.
Yeah, we are seeing it, sir.
So let me show you something.
Yeah, please.
So this information flashed on the social media that HDFC Bank is merging with HDFC. Share price went up. You know that how Indian media behaves. I will not repeat till what extent Indian media is compromised. You know, and many novice investors in India start chasing HDFC Bank. Very good. After 2 days, HDFC said this. Check. HDFCI's record 5,000 crores. Please plan to amalgamate parent HDFC with HDFC Bank that the board approval for raising 50,000 crores. Now 50,000 crores is near about, you can say, 8 billion US dollars. I repeat, 8 billion US dollars. The firming bank rating Moody said that the deal would hit profitability in 2 to 3 years, driven by higher funding cost and increased reliance on market borrowing. Now, 99% people in India not understood this, or they simply ignored this. Less than 1% people, rather I would say less than 0.01% people understood that 2 days ago you are merging HDFC with HDFC Bank. Okay. Although the regulatory approval is yet to come. And after 2 days, you are saying that now you need 50,000 crores, which is near about $8 billion. Now, why do you need $8 billion? Why do you need $8 billion? Do you have something substantial to hide? Do you have any presentation in the public domain that the 8 billion wanted to raise in 1 year, which is the next financial year, next 12 months, which is financial year 23? What would be the utilization of $8 billion? Have you seen any media channel talking about this? Have you seen anyone talking about this? No. Now, what does that reflect? This clearly reflects one thing, that we are chasing news. Simple. We are chasing news. That is why upfrontly, when the session wasn't started, I made one clear statement that I never speak with presentations. To me, presentations are useless because I speak with facts. Now, if you know how to read the balance sheet of HDFC Bank or any other bank per se, you would get to know that why they need 50,000 crores. But we do not know how to read the balance sheet, because I myself taught in Institute of Chartered Accountant of India. From Jammu Kashmir till Kanyakumari, I taught everywhere. Rather, the place, I don't know, at the very far end of the south place, near to Kanyakumari, I visited by Institute of Chartered Accountant of India. I am forgetting this name. The name starts with K. 2 days ago, before this news, there is another news. And what is that news? This is the news. IDFC mutual fund sold. Okay. Or alternatively, Bandhan Bank is buying IDFC mutual fund. We know this news, but what we do not know. This. IDFC Limited and consortium comprising Bandhan Bank is buying IDFC, is buying, the IDFC mutual fund. But who is the real investor? The real investor is the GIC. GIC is the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Singapore. And I'm sure that 99% people are here not aware about the Sovereign Wealth Fund. And the Chris Capital. They are collectively buying the this IDFC mutual fund. Now it raises a big question that in 1 week, 3 news coming. Number one, HDFC merging with HDFC Bank. Number two, 50,000 crores, which is near about $8 billion, is being raised in next 12 months. Number three, one mutual fund of India is on sale. And who is buying? A private equity firm. I am from Singapore, so I know GIC. By the way, those who do not know GIC, they can check it here. You just open the Google and just type GIC, you will get to know the Singapore. This is GIC. Right? Back to this building, I have my office. Back to this building where my mouse is. There is another fund which is very active in India, which is this, Temasek. They both are the sovereign wealth fund of Singapore. You name Temasek or you name, GIC, they both have the sovereign wealth fund. This is Temasek. Both are owned by the government. 99% do not know that the Temasek CEO is the Prime Minister of Singapore. So Prime Minister of Singapore, PM Lee, is the CEO of Temasek. But we do not know this about. Had we knew this about, we would have raised question on the Facebook, we would have raised question on the Twitter, we would have raised question on the social media that why the private equity firm are buying the mutual funds of India. And let me give you one more thing. And I'm sure that once again, people are not aware about that. This is Maxter. Maxter is nothing but the digital digital platform whereby you can buy magazines and something like this. If you read this, Blackstone, who is a private equity firm, is now holding the largest land bank in India. Now, time is very limited. I can give you hundreds of examples. Why we never worry about these news? Only because we do not know how to study the balance sheet. And that's the biggest problem. And we are not interested in reading the balance sheet. And this is the reason why the frauds happened in India. And this is the reason why on paper we have bank audits, we have statutory audits, we have, I would say we have internal audit, but the frauds continue to happen. Now I show you something which I'm sure 99% of you do not aware about. Just open Google and type EY. EY fined 3.5 million GBP. EY, you just change the name. EY, Deloitte, KPMG, PwC. You will get humongous amount of information. Now let's type KPMG. Example. The public company accounting PCOAB fined the former KPMG 100,000 3 days ago. Do you know, guys, why the frauds happened in bank? The frauds are happening in the banks for one reason, because we do not want it to implement one thing in the world of banking, which is known as this. Swift audits. Now, I would like to open the forum because I'm a very different kind of speaker. I would like to open the forum. I will give you 10 minutes if you wanted to have any questions, because I'm not the kind of speaker who is just like, continue to speak and people just chasing me. If you have any question, please put on to the person who is the head of charge here. He will ask the question from me. I give you 5 to 7 minutes. Please ask any question, and then I take you to the more and the important topic of the bank, basically the kind of bank frauds which are happening and how this can act as a, I would say, as a career opportunity for you in the near term, provided you are willing to take this. I'll open for 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. Any question, please put into the person in charge, or you can ask yourself. I'm here.
Start unmuting the audience, those who connected to audio. So those who are interested, they can unmute and ask. And the rest they can put it in chat box or question box. We'll compile it if there is any.
Any questions? Feel free. Any questions, sir? Okay. Any questions, sir? No questions?
No. If there is any, I'll put it on screen.
Okay, let's move on. So how the banking works? The whole banking architecture in the world works only by one forum, and that is known as the SWIFT. Now, SWIFT is known as Society of Worldwide Interbank, financial Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial. Now, SWIFT is in news nowadays from the last 1 month, and the credit has to go to Russia. Why SWIFT is in news? Because of Russia, because Russia is banned on the SWIFT architecture. Now, first, let us open the website of the SWIFT. And I'm sure that 99% of you even haven't ever opened the website of the SWIFT to basically get to know what are all the latest updates we are having on the SWIFT and so on and so forth. Please visit their website and you will get to know that. See this SWIFT. Now, what is SWIFT now? When a bank sends a money to another bank, it is routed via a SWIFT network, or it is on a SWIFT network. Example, when you transfer money from HDFC Bank to, I would say, I'm not talking about the local currency, I'm talking about the foreign currency. When you transfer money from your HDFC Bank dollar account to your cousin who lives in Europe, then this money is routed via SWIFT. But there are two forms of players we have in the SWIFT. I'll open the question. I'm a very different kind of speaker. I will open the question to the people here. So all 76 people. Do you know the two kind of people, those who are on the SWIFT? Anyone? SWIFT can only have two people, two kind of people. Anyone? Anyone know what are the two kind of people we have on the SWIFT? And I'm sure that 99% people never ever opened the website of the SWIFT and get to know that what kind of updates they are sharing, what kind of news analysis they are sharing, something like this. There are only two kind of people we have on the SWIFT. The number one is the people who have the SWIFT license, and number two, those who do not have the license, but they take the license from the people who have the license. So example, the big banks of the globe, JP Morgan, Citi, UBS, Barclays, Deutsche, Australia New Zealand Bank, Commerce Bank, Westpac, and Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, they have the license. So they can operate on the SWIFT architecture as per their way. But the operate doesn't mean that they can do anything. There are certain protocols they need to follow. While Indian banks, they are taking the license from the banks I mentioned. So example, today, if you take the HDFC Bank, ICAI Bank, Axis Bank, Punjab National Bank, SBI, any bank in India, you will get to know they will give you a SWIFT code. And Who is in the SWIFT code? JP Morgan, Citi, UBS, Barclays. Now let me show you this. Check this. Now this is on the website of HDFC Bank. This website is not by me. I am not the owner of this website. Check. We were talking about USD, right? So where is USD? Here is USD. In USD, they partnered with Bank of America, Standard Chartered, the Bank of New York Mellon, the Wells Fargo. Okay, please check the website www.hdfcbank.com. Okay, so this is not my website. In USD, they partnered with this. Let's talk Euro, and JP Morgan. Where the hell is Euro? Let's talk Singapore. In Singapore dollar, they partnered with this, JP Morgan Chase. Let's talk Russian ruble. Russian ruble, they partnered with AU Unicredit Bank. Let's talk JP Morgan. In JP Morgan, they partnered with JPY, Japanese yen. They partnered with JP Morgan. They partnered with SMBC, Sumitomo, Banking Corporation. In GBP, Great Britain Pound, they partnered with JP Morgan Chase. In Euro, they partnered with Deutsche, Society General, Commerce Bank, Barclays. See, this is not my website. So I'm not showing you. That is why I never give presentations. I always give person the links on the Google to explore more. Did we ever thought, the problem we have in our system is that when somebody speaks these things, either on a webinar or maybe in a conference, immediately he is being put into the world of, I would say, I would say Desh Bhakti in Hindi, I would say that you are not a Desh Bhakt or you are something like this. Why there is no SBI here? Why there is no PNB here? Why there is no, ICAI Bank here? Why there is no Axis Bank here? Why there is no Union Bank here? Canara Bank here? Why? For a while, if we exclude
Sir, it seems you are muted, sir. Hello. So you're not audible.
okay.
Yeah, now you're audible. I made you organizer, sir. So there is an option called questions where you can see the response from the audience. If you expand it, it will expand. Okay.
There
For
are
any
7
response.
questions. How to check the questions? Okay, wait. I'm getting.
Yeah, if you click on that, right next to the into mark, there is a pop-up button. If you click on that, it will expand actually. You can see the response from the audience. Okay. And you can close and you can expand again if you want.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you.
Okay, now you're getting my voice?
Yes, you're audible now, so very much audible. Only for last 10 seconds.
Okay, no worries. Now we need to learn one thing very carefully, that what is Swift architecture? In Swift architecture, there are 2 form of players. Number 1 is definitely the people, those who have the license to operate. Number 2, the people, those who do not have the license, but they take the license from the former people. Now, HDFC Bank, like if you visit the website of the HDFC, we will get to know about this. You can see the names. Now, the biggest question which we need to learn here, very important question, is that how Swift architecture works and why India is able to tame the banking frauds via a term called Swift audit. Now, what is that? Let me first explain, then I take the questions. Number one, I am a company who operates in India, Singapore, Hong Kong. I bill my, the customers because I provide the consulting business, the hedge fund business, the financial architecture. I bill my customer using the invoice. After every year, I get audited. My auditor asks for the invoices and I present the invoices. Now assume that there is no structure like this. There is no invoices. There is nothing. How would you get to know whether this person billed this much amount of money or not? The only way is that you can reach to the bank statement and you can check that. Now, what would if every foreign transaction which you committed, every foreign transaction is backed up by a SWIFT copy? Nirav Modi and Choksi scandal, infrastructure leasing and financial services, Diwan Housing, Yes Bank, PMC Bank, all frauds are happened when the money has been siphoned outside India. Now I will show you something. I'm not saying this. It is the Google, it is the records of the Google who are saying this. Let's check this out. Simply type right. This is Diwan Housing, right? I am not talking the this is not my website, this is not my link, neither I have created anything of my own. Okay, just check this. Sir, can you see the screen? Sir, can you see the screen? Sir, can you see
Yes,
the
sir.
screen?
Yes, sir. Very much. Yes, sir.
Okay, promoters of Diwan Housing has opened a fictitious branch in Bandra. Bandra is in Mumbai, which boasted of over 2 lakh dummy home buyers and has created a siphoning worth 12,000 crores. 12,000 crores, which is near about 1.5 billion US dollars, according to the information obtained by Enforcement Directorate, which is ED, from Diwan Housing senior executive. The promoters diverted the money to around 80 shell construct companies after showing it as loans against the name of home buyers under the subvention scheme. Now, in all this article, did you get to know that, did you got to know that any form of SWIFT audit? You will never get to know about this. This whole 12,000 crores can easily be tracked provided India will approve one thing, and that thing is known as the SWIFT audit. Now, what is SWIFT audit? It means that whenever our money goes outside India, I repeat, whenever our money goes outside India, this money will have a SWIFT copy. It is the duty of the bank to provide the SWIFT copy. And the person who is sending the money and the person who is receiving the money both will have a SWIFT copy. They will provide the SWIFT copy to the auditors, and auditors will justify that this money has given or received from this SWIFT account. But before I go further into the more technical details about the SWIFT audit, I would like to open the forum. In case you have any questions, please ask. I'll give you 5 to 7 minutes. Please feel free. In case you have any question, please feel free, sir. Please feel free, sir. Any questions do you have? Any questions? Okay, no questions, not a problem. Now, SWIFT audit is of two types. There are 9 SWIFT asset classes. Now, please learn this. You just open the Google and you type SWIFT asset class. Now let me first show you something and then we talk. Now let me first show you this. Open Google, Swift asset class 1. There are 9 asset classes we have in Swift. Wait, we have a question, I think. I'm not sure whether we have. Okay, here are the questions.
The questions right next to the into mark, if you expand it will open, sir. There is a question called,
Is there any
there
issue in implementing the Swift audit? Yes, the big issue behind implementation of the Swift audit is that if India will implement the Swift audit, then India need to change the whole architecture. The Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, the SFIO, Serious Fraud Investigation Office, ED, Enforcement Directorate, CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation, SEBI, Security and Exchange Board of India, RBI, Reserve Bank of India, everyone needs to be updated. And the honest reply is that none of them is updated as we speak. Did you ever heard SEBI, Security and Exchange Board of India, talking about the Swift audit? No, they will never speak about that. Now, this is the reason why Swift audit is never being implemented. But like I said, there is a word called there is no demand, there is no supply. Example, Paytm started with the digital payment. The India got addicted to the digital payment. Then came Phone Pay, Google Pay, and so many providers. And as we speak, we are too much addicted from the digital payment that now writing a check, going to the bank branch, all this is a waste of time, right? We believe that if there is someone who is willing to send us the money, do via Paytm, Phone Pay, or maybe Google Pay or these kind of platforms. But what if I say to you that you go to a bank branch and issue a check? You will feel like, what the hell this person is talking about. The reason is that we wanted to move from the physical system called ATM, check issuance, RTGS letter to the digital. We shifted at a very faster pace. But here we don't want it to make this happen, and I have an evidence because I will never speak until I have the evidence. Wait, so this is the answer of the question. The honest answer is that as a country, we are really, really not interested to have this. Now, next question is by the same person. If the Swift audit is critical, why Institute of Chartered Accountant or the government doesn't take the initiative? I don't know you, sir, but I'm always a state speaker. I attended many meetings of Institute of Chartered Accountant of India. I attended many meetings of Ministry of Corporate Affairs, many meetings by the regulatory bodies. The biggest problem we have in the system is that we have yes person people, which means that, like, let's give an example. When I was in one of the meeting of Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, the president Atul Kumar Gupta, I told to Atul Kumar Gupta that very clearly that we should implement the Swift audit. And he was mum like this because he not even understood what I'm talking. And then the new president, then the new president, then the new president, and the whole situation, whole story will continue. End result, who is losing? The practitioner is losing. People like you are losing. Now, I'll give you one more important thing, sir, with facts. I never speak without facts. Please check this out. Because I'm a person who speaks only with facts. No facts, no discussions. Check this out. And this is not by me, by the way. Check the heading. Banks have write-off bad loans worth 10.8 lakh crores, which is near about 150 billion US dollars, 150. In the last 8 years, check. I will not read the complete. Banks have been facing the problem of the bad loan for a while now. Bad loans are largely loans which have been unpaid period of 90 days. The bad loans peaked 10.3 lakh crore and the bank have, phased out. You can see that 10.8 lakh crores in the last 8 years. How much is the, do you, anyone, all the 81 or 82 people, those who are alive right now, do you know how much is the implementation cost of Swift Audit? The implementation cost of Swift Audit is 1 crore. Let's have a demo. Very simple demo. This is calculator. 1 crore divided by 10.8 lakh crores into 10 raised to the power 5. Okay. 1 divided by, okay, let's do it on the Excel. That would be better. Because in this, I will teach you something which you are not aware about. People don't want it to talk about, and you will never see these things in the media. So give me 1 minute. Now here is the Excel file. It is free, and you people are using Excel in a daily parlance. 1 crore divided by 10.8 10.8 lakh crores. Okay, sir. This is 10.8 lakh crores. Let us do in percentage. Okay. Can you see the screen, sir, everyone?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Yes. Yes, sir.
This is you have to spend. And I am saying on a recorded line. This is you have to spend. And had you spent this, you would have saved 10.8 lakh crore. This is the formula. This is you have to spend. But what is the problem? The people, those who are sitting at the top, they are not interested. Why they are not interested? Because the people who are the actual beneficiary, the people like you, they are also not interested. So the very simplest line in the economics, when there is no demand, there is no supply. Common sense. Like today we are in summers. You see me in the t-shirt. I keep myself very simple always. Do you see me in a sweater? You're in a jacket, and there is no demand of sweater and jacket now. No demand, no supply. Common sense. And it would never happen. It would never happen. Let me assure you. But the next 1 hour would be more critical. I'll show you something very interestingly, and I'm sure you are even not aware about that. Let me take the next question, if there is any. No, 10.8 lakh crore do not include any internal borrowing. 10.8 lakh crore is the total. Okay, let me first confirm to you. Thank you for asking this question, whosoever that gentleman. I always respect the question. Now, please check this out, sir. Although I'm not deliberating much, but just for your understanding. Swift having 9 asset classes: class 1, class 2, class 3. Now let me write Swift 103. Check this. Now, every banking transaction in the world is backed up by 103. Please study this. MT 103 are globally accepted as a proof of payments and includes all the payment details such as date, amount, currency, sender, and recipient. MT 103 are also great for tracking payments which are either delayed or missing because they are shown the route to the payments between the banks. Once your payment has been dispatched, you can retrieve your MT103 by logging into your money mover account, selected whatever this, that, and XYZ. In the bank audits by Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, did you people ever track 103? Do you even know how to track 103? Check this. This is called field names. We'll deliberate more after this about the field names. Do you people even track this? With deep respect, the answer is no. But what we believe, that we are doing the audits. It is just like a security guard standing outside the hotel or building, whatever you name. He don't have a weapon, but he believes that he is a security guard. Now, this is the live example I'm giving. There is another question. There is by Mr. Rajiv. No, sir. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm a very different kind of person. I always believe in asking a lot of questions. So, people should ask the question. Anyways, let's move further. So, Swift having 9 asset classes. One is known as class 1, class 2, class 3 till class 9. But not all are important. Like I said, example, without quoting any specific country name, the country have prime minister, the country have home ministers, they have education ministers, they have transport ministers, they have a lot of ministers, they have a lot of member of parliamentarian without quoting any specific name. But the big respect is always given to none other than the prime minister. So today, any country, without quoting any specific name, if the prime minister of any country gives any statement, then it is considered as a statement of fact. It is considered as a judgment by that country. So example, if today Modi ji will give any statement, example, I'm just creating a hypothetical example. So please don't think that Modi ji is going to give that statement. So suppose Modi ji will give that statement that I will not buy oil from Russia, example, then the world will consider this as an Indian opinion that India will not buy any oil from Russia, because Modi ji, who is the head of the country, is making that statement. Okay. But what would if Modi ji will give a reverse statement, which is that I am going to be buying oil from India? It means that the India is willing to have a relationship with the Russia. Similarly, we have 3 top asset classes of the globe. Now let me write this for you. Let me open a Word file, which is also free. And anyone can take the screenshot or anything, it hardly matters. We have 2 different asset classes. One is known as class 5 and one is known as class 7. They are very important asset classes. And I personally believe that, like your CA courses, like first you people do the CPT, then you people do the IPCC, then you have a 3-year training program, basically internship, and then you people go group 1, group 2, followed by GMCS, which is nothing but the the communications kind of stuff, and finally you people get a degree. Maybe either practice or you want to join the industry. It's all independent opinion. Class 5 is about treasury. I strongly believe that even at CPT level, this should be taught, and the gravity would continue to extend till we get group 1 or group 2. And I again have an evidence which I'm going to be showing to you. I will never speak until I have the evidence with me. Class 7 is nothing but the trade finance. Now, before I continue, I'll open the forum. 5 minutes, any questions? 5 minutes, I have one question. 5 minutes, any questions? Do you think even our audit fraternity has the right tool to track and compete with the audit on time? I strongly believe that, sir, the audit system of India is obsolete. Completely obsolete. It is like using BlackBerry when the world is using Apple. Simple statement. And that is the reason why every passing day, any bank is facing the non-performing asset. Because our audit manuals are completely obsolete. We are living in the world of BlackBerry while the world is living using Apple. But unfortunately, we are expecting the results of Apple. So this is a straight answer. Any other questions, sir? Any other questions? Okay, no questions. So let's move forward. So class 5 and class 7. Let me give you the evidence because I never speak until I have the evidence. That why they are important. First of all, let me check. I am very much audible. My screen is visible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, here is the evidence. I'm not opening the YouTube video, but let us check this. Now, this is an article, independent article, which is available on the Google. Okay, now let's study this for a while, for 1 minute. With the rapid escalation of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, a large coalition of states, including European Union, US, Canada, and UK, among others, agreed on 26th February 2022 to ban select Russian banks from the Society of Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications, SWIFT. By the way, 99% people even do not know the full form of SWIFT. Because I have seen many people referring TS transactions, including the media people. SWIFT, International Payment Messaging System, the move was latest in the series of the severe sanctions aimed at economically isolating Russia and crippling the Russian financial system in order to pressure the Putin regime to end this military operation in Ukraine. Anyways, we are not here talking about the war because that is outside my jurisdiction. But what I'm talking here is that Russia is banned from the SWIFT architecture. Now, how does it impact? It impacts, I'm not saying that class 1, okay, let me write, so that people don't feel that there are these classes do not exist. Class 5 I have mentioned above, so class 5 I'm not mentioning. Again, this is class 5 and class 7. Now, how does it actually work? Now, this is treasury. Now, what the hell is treasury? Before I move into, I have a question. Let me answer this question. Okay, it is just thank you. Now, what the hell is treasury? Now, the treasury is today ICICI Bank is receiving funding outside India. Let me show you with the evidence. Okay. Let me show you with the name. We cannot run away. Okay. This is the open link. So none of the links is generated by me, right? Let it be very clear. Neither I own these websites and nor I have any proprietary control on these websites. Okay, here we go. Reliance Industries Limited, the nation's most valuable company, on Thursday. This article dated 7th January 2022. Reliance Industries Limited, the nation's most valuable company, on Thursday said that it has raised 4 billion, which is near about 30,000 crores in debt through the largest foreign currency bond issued by Indian entity. Okay, we are not here talking whether how they're going to be utilizing this money. That is outside our jurisdiction. But this money which they raised, Reliance Industries Limited, this money comes under class 5 because this is treasury, bonds, equities, debentures, I would say preferred stocks, sweet equity, any form of funding which is external commercial borrowing, any form of funding which are included, which are being which can be used as a method to raise the money covered under class 5. So today, I don't know who are the banks who helped Reliance in raising $4 billion, but Reliance, when they got this $4 billion, either in tranches or probably at one shot, which is called bullet payment in our parlance, they have received a swift copy of that, both the banks. So let's take a simplistic example on a word 5. Suppose Goldman Sachs, I'm not entering into detail, syndicated, which means that Goldman took the help of other banks. They helped raising Reliance $4 billion. Now, on the side of the Reliance, we have Citibank, say Barclays, India. Now, Goldman and Barclays India are having a swift transaction whereby the $4 billion is being transferred from the banks who helped Reliance raising the money, and it went to Barclays. And Barclays give this money to Reliance because Barclays is the bank of Reliance. Maybe the whole $4 billion went into several tranches like Barclays, Citi, UBS, JP Morgan, maybe Goldman Sachs India as well. There is a swift copy which is being generated out of this. Now, what the hell is a swift copy? Now, check this out. Okay, let me write this. MT stands for message type. Now, let me give you a very simplistic example. Now, for what we used, why do we need 503 is that, what would if Goldman will come to Reliance and say that I'm giving you $4 billion, but I want some collateral. So with due respect, I don't trust you. And Reliance say, okay, no problem, we'll give you collateral. That's not a problem. But how would they communicate? MT 503. Let me ask this question. You people do the bank audits. And bank audits, bank helps raising money for their clients. This is the duty of the bank. They're not doing any obligation. Now, when banks raise the money for the client, many times they have collateral. Did you ever check 503? Or do you know how to check 503? The answer is no. Do the accounting manuals which you people are using, with due respect of the institute or any other institute without specifically mentioning anyone's names, do we have MT 503? No. Now let me give you MT 506. Do we knew this, that in every bank audit, whether this is Punjab National Bank, whether this is Union Bank, whether this is ICAI Bank, whether this is Axis Bank, or whether this is any other bank, the class 5 always applicable, unsaid. Example, Prime Minister of any country is also a member of parliamentarian. The only thing is he is a head of member of parliamentarian. So be it India, US, Singapore, probably Canada, or any country, the Prime Minister is also a member of parliamentarian. That's a separate thing. He is a leader selected by the member of parliamentarians. So class 5 applicable to all banks. But out of 84 people, those who are talking, those who are live, out of the dignitaries of the institute, those who are live, did we ever tried to understand that when we are going to be audit the class 5. Now let me show you something. And please be note that I'm live. See, this is my hands. I'm not using any book or I'm not using any manual. I have no one standing before me who is guiding me. So you can see my hands, right? There are no notes, no printouts. There is nothing which I'm using, unlike the people who use them. I only have my keyboard, which I'm using to type. See that. So let me type MT599. MT599 is a free format message. Now, what the hell is the free format message? Every day you name Indian bank, they are getting MT599 copy. Several hundred 599 on their Swift architecture. But our audit system is so powerful that we even do not know how to study MT599. But we are doing audits. That is another beauty of the game. Before I continue, I'll open the forum for 5 minutes. Any questions? Please feel free. Any questions? Any questions? Please feel free. No questions? Good. Okay, let's move further. So before to go ahead forward to detect the banking frauds, we need to have the Swift audits mandatory in the Swift system. Now, Swift audit, when we speak about mandatory, we need to make sure that class 1 to class 9 should be made mandatory. Now, when we speak about class 1 to class 9, class 5 and class 7 should be made mandatory in the bank audits. Now, whether these banks are small, big, or maybe super big, like HDFC and all, the bank audits, the class 5 and 7 audits needs to be mandatory. Now, let me show you something before I continue so that you people do not say that I have not given you any evidence. Now, this is, first of all, can I take a small, because to me, feedbacks hardly matter, you know, the kind of person I am, but still, let me check that, are you people understanding new things? That is the most important, you know, I'm looking forward. That is something which I'm always looking forward. Maybe can you give your comments that are you people learning new things from this session or not? So please give your comment. ICICI Bank annual report. Okay, this is ICICI Bank website. This is again not my website. Okay. Now this is the integrated report on ICICI Bank website. Let us take the full report. So guys, this is ICICI Bank website. And this is ICICI Bank annual report. It is not my report. Okay. And I have downloaded this report from ICICI Bank website. Let it be very clear. Control F, Swift. Audit. Okay. This is Swift audit. You can see that I opened ICICI Bank website, opened the annual report and check Swift audits. Anything? Anything coming? No. But let me rephrase myself and simply mention audit. Okay. I have changed from Swift audit to audits. Check this out. So many words of audit on the annual report. So many words. But secretariat audit, statutory audit, XYZ. But when it comes to, I will again do SWIFT audit, the answer is 0. If you're thinking ICICI Bank might be an exception, let's check the Google and go Axis Bank. Or let me open the largest bank of India. Okay, without any doubt. I doubt how come they are the largest bank. So this is in Hindi. Let us shift to English so that no one will say that, you know, I have deliberately chosen Hindi. Now this is English. SPI, you can see that it is in English. Okay, now let me do reverse. First, I will type audit. I get so many words. You can see that. So many words. But now I go reverse this time. Now I type SWIFT audit. 0. Can you see that? 0. Now let me show something to you. Now this is SBI. 0. Now let me show something to you as an evidence. I always speak with evidence. I never speak without evidence. Yes, few people being offended, that's separate. SBI write-off loan worth 52 58 crores in last 4 years. Rupees around 17,600 crores only in financial year 21. And what is the cost of implementation? 1 crore. So you are good to write off almost 53,000 crores. And out of that 17,600 crores coming only last year, financial year 21. But you are not good to have a SWIFT system. I once again go to the SBI Bank annual report, which is on their website. And I thought in a search format, I mentioned SWIFT audit. And I'm getting nothing, 0. But if I only type audit, I get so much links. Concurrent audit, statutory audit, internal audit, and all these blah, blah, blah. Now, what does that signify? This signifies only one thing, that we ourselves do not know what we are up to. We are just making an annual report, uploading on the website, our job is done. Maybe some of you acted as an auditor of SBI, maybe your friends acted as an auditor of the SBI. They're done with the audit. But where is the, now see this, everyone. This is not my website. Check this. This is SBI website. Check this, guys. Sorry, it is not legible. So let me reduce the font a bit. Wait, it is hanged. Check this. As a part of RFIA, Risk Focused Internal Audit, Internal Audit Department conducts various audit, credit audit, information technology audit, cyber security audit, home office audit, concurrent audit, FEMA audit, audit of outsourced activity, expenditure and compliance audit. Okay, can you see that? Where is SWIFT audit? Is SWIFT is not subject to audit? Is SWIFT is not subject to audit. Probably yes, because that is the reason we will get the excuse to write off this. Because if we do the SWIFT audit and mention in the website, then the whole India would start asking this question. But now no one can ask, no one asking because there is no SWIFT audit. Now this is class 5. I'll come to class 7. Let me have questions. Any questions? Let me come to class 7 later on. Let me review the questions. Please explain RIL funds raising. What is the irregular? No, there is no irregularity in RIL. No, I'm sorry, you heard me wrong. There is no irregularity in RIL. What I wanted to say that if RIL is raising the money, that way they get the SWIFT copy. Now, whether this is RIL or I'll give you one more example. Give me another 5 minutes. I'll change the counterparty from RIL to some other counterparty. So you will have a better understanding. So there is no irregularity. What I wanted to say is that when RIL raised $4 billion, RIL got a SWIFT copy. But unfortunately, SWIFT is not mandatory in India. SWIFT audits are not mandatory in India, which would never be. Let me give you in writing. So no audit will happen as far as the SWIFT is concerned. Is SWIFT yes, SWIFT audit is mandatory in US. SWIFT audit is mandatory in Singapore. There are many countries of European Union who made SWIFT audit mandatory. Rather, I am not touching something called forensic audit. But we have a practice of forensic audit. But in forensic audit also, the SWIFT audit is mandatory. But in India, when it comes to forensic audit, the SWIFT audits are not a part of the forensic audit. That is another beauty of the life. But still, we titled this as a forensic audit. Any questions, sir? This is the gentleman called Mr. Bhaskar Rao. He's saying the total subject is like a mystery to me. I'm only trying to understand at least 1% of what you're explaining. I have been carrying audit for the last 30 years. And I'm sure, sir, you must be carrying from the last 30 years, but you haven't encountered anyone who talking about the SWIFT audit, and probably in another 30 years, which is probably from 2022 to 2052, no one will come in and raise these points, because we are living in the world of, you know, what I mean to say. Another question from CA, sorry, the spelling is very tough. Nothing personal. You can please emphasize on the connection between the statutory financial audit and the SWIFT audit, and can it be covered by the financial auditor? Which financial auditor you are talking about? Are you talking about EY? Are you talking about KPMG? Are you talking about Deloitte? Or are you talking about PwC? Which one you are talking? You know what I mean to say. Just open the Google and their credentials are on the Google. So what is the definition of the financial auditor? Tell me. What is the definition of the financial auditor? EY, KPMG, PwC, or Deloitte? What is the definition? I can give you 10 examples now of the live frauds conducted by them. Live frauds. You wanted to see? See that. Check this, the live fraud, an open challenge. This is not my website. Paytm annual report. Okay. Yearly results. Not my website. This is report 2021, financial year 21. Okay. This is on their website. I will show you the live fraud, and then I will ask you a question, and from the Institute of Chartered Accountant, what you people are up to. You can record this session. Open challenge, and which I'm doing every day on the YouTube, by the way. Who is the auditor, ma'am? Check this. PwC. I hope you remember PwC, right? Satyam. Just check retained earnings. Okay, it is deliberately not coming. So let us go to the balance sheet. This is the balance sheet. I'll show you the live fraud. Had Swift audit made compulsory, this would never happen. This is the live balance sheet. Now this is the liability side, which is called equity. Everyone is a chartered accountant here except me, but even though I'm not a chartered accountant, I'm challenging the chartered accountants. This is equity. Equity hold the share capital. Share capital notes is 11A. Okay, check this out. Let's check 11A. And you can see that this is so-called PwC. You can see that 11A. There is another trend which currently happening, that you deliberately deactivate the Control F so that no one can search you. Wait, I'll show you live on, okay, sorry. This is 13, this is 12, this is 11. Can everyone see that? Sir, are the organizer able to see this?
We can see that.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, we can see.
Let us expand this. Now this is what? Retained earnings. Can you see that retained earnings?
We can read it, sir, please.
How much is the balance? Minus 12,380 crore. Minus.
Yes.
Can you see that? As of 31st March 2021. Can you see that? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, now please take a note of this. The retained earnings is the minus 12,331 crores. Okay. Now let's have some fact checking. Open Google. And I'm not the owner of Google. Everyone, can you see that? Check this. This is the last, is the November 3, 2021. Paytm raised 1.1 billion US dollars, India largest ever anchored round as a part of initial public offering, which is also shaping up to the India largest and so on and so forth. The fund is financed by BlackRock, GIC, CPPIB, CPBF MEME is the Canadian Pension Fund, and Birla Mutual Fund, and so on and so forth, XYZ. Okay. Now this $1 billion is coming who? This is coming outside India. Am I clear? This is coming outside India. So if it is coming outside India, it means it is coming from the SWIFT route. Yes or no? Of course, it is not coming in the air. It is coming from the SWIFT route. Now, if it is coming from the SWIFT route, okay, if it is coming from a SWIFT route, then it means it has to be audited. Now, what is the only way of making this audit? SWIFT audit. Did the SWIFT audit happen? No. But how can you link that? Check this again. Where is the okay? Here. Paytm, March 31st, 2021, minus 12,381 crores. So a sensible auditor would have used his mind. What is the mind? that I raised a huge money since inception in the form of foreign funding. Of course, common sense prevails that foreign funding cannot come without SWIFT. Did the SWIFT audit happen? No. But why it should happen? Because the retained earnings are negative 12,381 crores. Negative. I repeat, negative. Right? And who is the auditor? None other than PwC. And this I am giving on a live session. Now tell me, don't tell me. Just put a hand on your heart like this. I'm putting, okay? I'm again raising both of my hands and show you that I have no presentation, no person standing next to me, no books which I'm referring to, just looking at the screen. See my both hands. Just put the hand on your heart like this and said whether SWIFT audit should be made mandatory or not. And Paytm is now a listed company. Paytm is a listed company. Let me show you something. Now, when Paytm share fall below 750, investor lost 90,000 crores. Today, the share price is around 600. So what would be the value? What would be the value? More than 1 lakh crores. Common sense. Paytm share fell before 750. Investor lost 90,000 crores. Point number one. Point number two. Who is the auditor? PwC. Point number three. How much is the retained earnings? Negative, minus 12,381 crores. Just put a hand on your heart and tell me, do you need SWIFT audit or not? Why Institute of Chartered Accountant of India? Why Ministry of Corporate Affairs? Why Security and Exchange Board of India? Why Reserve Bank of India? Why these institutions whom responsibility is to protect the investors' interest? Why they not asked for statutory audit or SWIFT audit? Did anyone, Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, RBI, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, did anyone order SWIFT audit? I'm not a chartered accountant. I said this to your head of the institute upfrontly. In fact, the madam who used to call me, I told her also that I'm not a chartered accountant. But I knew these things upfrontly. If I would be the head of SEBI, I would have ordered the SWIFT audit immediately. It's a common sense. But did SEBI said no? But 90,000 crores has been washed out. 90,000 crores. I don't think I need to prove that why India needs SWIFT audit. If you're going to do the audit of the funding which is received by Paytm since inception, you would have get to know that what I am talking about. But the day we have SWIFT audit mandatory, I repeat, the day we have SWIFT audit mandatory, none of these companies would exist. None of these companies. Let me come to the very hot topic, which I have only 20 minutes to explain because time is very limited. I can't give you much time. But before that, let me invite if any questions in the I can give you maximum 5 minutes. Any questions do you have? I have one question, in fact, two. One, there is SWIFT India. Does it give SWIFT Come on, there is no SWIFT India. SWIFT is only one institution. Come on, what we are talking. Goldman Sachs is a one bank. Goldman Sachs India is an Indian entity of Goldman Sachs. Does that mean that Goldman Sachs India is a new bank? JP Morgan Chase India Mumbai Santa Cruz is a new bank. Citibank India is a new bank. Barclays India is a new bank. No, they are one bank. They operate in India also. Like they operate in US, they operate in India also. Similarly, please don't say that SWIFT India. There is nothing known as SWIFT India. It is only SWIFT, Society of Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications. So please don't say that it is SWIFT India. The day we are referring to SWIFT India, it means we understood nothing, zero. What is the eligibility for being a SWIFT auditor? There is no eligibility to being a SWIFT auditor. You need to learn yourself how to be a SWIFT auditor. Of course, another good question being asked that unfortunately there is no governing body of SWIFT audit. The four names which I mentioned, which is Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, Reserve Bank of India, and Ministry of Corporate Affairs, for whom responsibility is to protect the investor interest, they all are not interested to take this responsibility. In ICAI, one president come, another come, another come, another come, another come, but no one is ready to put a proposal before MCA that let's make SWIFT audit mandatory. I again repeat, I told this to Atul Kumar Gupta very clearly that you need to make this happen. But he apparently ignored that. But it hardly matters to me. Hardly matters to me. Because I am not a CA. I know how to do my practice. So it hardly matters to me. But it matters to the lakhs of students who are actually doing the degree right now under maybe CPT, IPCC, Group 1, Group 2, or maybe GMCS, or probably the lakhs of people in the practice or maybe in the industry. On an annual CA day, did you ever heard that the CA president talking about making SWIFT audit mandatory? No, never. It would never happen. Did you ever heard the SEBI president or the SEBI head talks about the SWIFT audit? Never. Did you ever heard that RBI governor who gives lot of statements, digital INR? He is saying digital INR. Forget digital INR. First focus on the SWIFT audit, which is mandatory. That's a big problem. Now, let me come to another very hot topic. I have limited time, I understand. What is called trade finance. So I'm wiping this all. In trade finance, we have many things, which is known as bank guarantee, which is known as SBLC, which is known as LC, which is known as standby bank guarantee, which is known as subordinate bonds, and there are many we have. The list is endless in the interest of time. So let's give you a simplistic example. I'm giving you an example, right? So please don't say that this is a real, the name can change. Reliance Industries Limited bonds SBLC worth 1 billion. So they contacted their bank, Goldman Sachs India. Goldman Sachs India arranged this SBLC standby letter of credit 1 billion from their counterpart, Goldman Sachs Singapore. So Goldman Sachs India just acted as a mediator, while the final party who is giving is a Goldman Sachs Singapore. So, but for Reliance, there are two counterparties, Goldman Sachs India, Goldman Sachs Singapore. This 1 billion SPLC is of 5 years. Okay, it's for 5 years. But let's talk evidence. That's more important thing, because evidence is something which is more important. MT 760 is a message used to issuing and requesting a letter of credit or a documentary credit. Both are a type of the interbank message that are used on the SWIFT system so that the financial institutions can correspond. Bank practitioners and businesses often confuse MT 760 and MT 799. SWIFT, why wouldn't they? The messages are sent in the same mode by banks within the same industry, but there are a number of differences. MT 760, 799 is nothing but the free format message, in simplistically speaking. Please type, which I told you, SWIFT Class 7, Treasury Markets and Syndications. It is also known as the trade finance. Okay, now let's check this. Now here, every year when Reliance will get audited, that SWIFT copy needs to be checked. It's not that the bank confirmation matters. The SWIFT copy needs to be checked. India have many companies, Reliance, Adani's, Tata's, the Birlas, thousands of maybe TCS, Infosys, thousands of companies we have. They have one or another form of guarantee in their books. Could be LC, could be bank guarantee, could be standby bank guarantee, could be other thing they have in their books. To audit these bank guarantees or all these documentary credit, which I mentioned above, you need to have the SWIFT audit mandatory. So today, example, I'm again repeat, this is just an example. So today, if Reliance claim that they have 1 billion of SPLC from Goldman Sachs, would I trust? No. I will seek an interbank message raised by Goldman Sachs India, and this interbank message needs to confirm that yes, Reliance holding $1 billion of SPLC for 5 years. But the biggest point is, do I understand this message? That's the bloody point. And the answer is no. I myself do not understand these messages. When I say I mean the auditor. I myself do not understand these messages. So why would I force Reliance to have these kind of checks? I would never. I have an evidence. I never speak until I have the evidence. Enforcement Directorate has arrested 2 people in connection with the probe of 6,000 crore Bank of Baroda money laundering case. Official businessman, whatever Mr. XYZ, are booked under PMLA. They said the 2 were be produced before the court. The businessmen have been accused of channelizing near about 300 crores via OK Bihar branch, where the bank is said to have foreign location using suspected shell companies. This is our media. But because the media never mentioned that this can be stopped. Now, who was the auditor of this branch? I think he should also be arrested. Why he should be arrested? Because in a bank audit, he should have checked all the shell companies and everything, which could easily be checked under class 7. But he himself not aware about that. That's a big question. Now, I don't know what this person is up to, what the name of the gentleman is up to. But he can easily contest in the court by saying that where were the auditors? So guys, when we speak about the new dimensions in the bank frauds, let me conclude now. We need to understand one thing very clearly and upfrontly, that we are living in the world of 2022. We are not living in the world of 1980 or probably 1945. We need to learn, we need to upgrade. So please don't presume that the manuals, the study charts, or whatever you say, they are provided to you, they are correct. Please. Had it been there would not be any frauds, but there are frauds. And that's a big point. The people, those who are authorized not to make this happen, they are sleeping. They are really not interested. And you people are not aware about it. How many are the bank auditors, those who are watching this session? I have given you a live PTM example. I can give you even Zomato. I can give you Policy Bazaar. I can give you Nike. I can give you, Car Trade, the 5 listed companies. But do you think that swift audit will happen? Never. But when any of the companies bust, which would definitely happen, people will lose. Then for the sake of formality, a committee is being formed, and that committee will do nothing, put one person in the jail and relax. This is how we work. Swift audit will never make mandatory in this country because no demand, no supply. Perfectly clear. This is how it works. With this, I thank you very much. Time is very limited. And now I have 10-15 minutes maximum. I will open the sessions in case you have any question. Anything you would like to check, please feel free. I have one question. Let's assume there is a swift audit. What would be the key audit step? The swift audit needs to be class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4 till class 9. So just like your financial audit, when you check the trade payables, trade receivables, you check the intercompany transaction, you check intercorporate deposit, you check the FD, you check the bank balances. Similarly, in the swift audit, you have to make all 9 classes applicable. Okay, I agree that unlike you have a company like Reliance and all big corporates, not all 9 asset classes matters, but 5 and 7 are the asset classes that matters, be it any corporate, small, big, medium, whatever, that hardly matters. But yes, for the big companies like Reliance and all them, all Tata Group and all these asset classes matter. But unfortunately, the point is that until we make swift audit mandatory, we will never reach to the core of the problem. And this, whatever the news which you are getting, the fraud news and all these kind of things, this would continue. Forever, it would continue. And we continue to live in a dilemma that I am a chartered accountant, I am a CPA, I am a CFA, I have FRM, but practically you know nothing. Zero. You even do not know what is the difference between, class 5 and class 7. What are the various categories of the class 7? Of course, in 2 hours, I cannot teach you everything. This is how it works. Any other questions, sir? Please feel free. We are about to wind up. Any questions? Please feel free, sir. No questions? Okay, with this, I thank you very much. Thank you to the Institute of Chartered Accountant of India. Thank you to the organizer committee, and I will not seek any apologies that for being upfront, because I'm always an upfront person, be it my Facebook or YouTube channel. I'm always being an upfront person, and I strongly believe that the world having many people of who's seeking apologies. So I don't seek any apologies, because I believe that the mess has already reached a level which is outside the control of everyone now. Probably in another 5 years, the financial systems will collapse. I'm sure of. Millions and millions of investors will lose the money, like in the case of Diwan Housing, Infrastructure Leasing and Financial Services, Yes Bank, PMC Bank, and all these. The list is very long. Billions and billions of people will lose the money. The system has already collapsed, and I doubt we are serious about it. Our audit manuals are obsolete. We really not interested to work on the audit manuals. yes, for the sake of formality, we are doing the audit, but technically this is not an audit. The definition of the audit has changed, but we are living in the same definition of the audit, which is used in 1945, probably earlier than that. And unfortunately, we are happy with this definition, but I'm not happy with this definition. With this, myself, Rahul Magan, thank you very much. ICAI, thank you to the organizer. Sir, you may wind up the session, please. Hello?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
I'm done. In case you yourself having any question, you can free, please.
If there's any, let me know. It's new to me actually.
I think the whole, this is Monica here from SIRC, sir. So
Yes, ma'am.
all the
Yes.
all the topics are like covered. I think the members are like, I think there are like no questions after 6:30, and people are like asking. Yeah.
Many were asking for the recordings, it seems so.
Yes, sir.
Maybe we will be sharing the recording with the audience, and also we're putting it up in the YouTube channel for general audience post.
No problem, sir. You're most welcome. But we need to understand one thing, that we need to upgrade the system, because if we do not upgrade the system, we are bound to lose. That is for sure.
Sure, sir. Well noted, sir.
Anyway, sir, thank you very much, and talk soon. Thank you, sir. Have a good time.
Yes, we also thank you for your time, and in this busy schedule, you accepted our invitation. On behalf of our chairman and our secretary, I would like to thank you for your time, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome, ma'am. Welcome. Have a good time.
Yes.
Have a good day.
Thank you.